Hi, I'm Anita Day and welcome to my kitchen. Well, that's my new kitchen and I'm so lucky to have guests in my house today. Welcome to you. I'm so glad y'all got to be here. I messed the time up with them, so we're running a little bit late, but that's the way it rolls, right?
And we're happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So, several years ago I did a cooking show and somehow my arm got twisted into doing it again. So yeah, I know, that's on you. So I'm happy to be sharing some new recipes, some old new recipes that I've kind of revised. So today I'm going to start out with something, I'm all about multi-versatile recipes, something that I can use for different things. So when I make my spaghetti sauce, I will use it for what I'm doing today. I will use it in my lasagna. So that's three things. So I will make a big, huge pot. I start out with the big restaurant size can of tomato sauce so that once I get everything added, it's almost to the top. So I have 3, 4, 5 meals out of it because I'll make my lasagna up, throw it in the freezer, and it's done. So when I figure if I have to spend all that time in the kitchen, I'm going to make it worthwhile. Because I don't know who makes it look so easy that, you know, it's a lot of work. I don't know about you, but it's a lot of work. So thank whoever cooks at your house, okay? So today we're going to do, Sue's going, nudging Ken, right? So today we're going to make some Italian sausage sandwiches. And I'm going to start out, yay! Okay, so I'm going to start out with 2 cans of just plain tomato sauce. These are the 1 pound, 13 ounce cans. And, you know, when I make spaghetti sauce, I do not measure anything. I just start putting stuff in the pot. That's what a lot of cooks do. So I actually measured this out, and you can put it however you want. So I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. This is a mix that's got oregano and a basil in it. And I'm going to start out and I'm going to whisk it in together. Usually you would do this for your spaghetti, do it in your pot that you're cooking in. This is a 1.5 tablespoons of paprika. It's about a teaspoon of red pepper. If you want a little spicier, you can. You're going to get that mixed up really good. And this is a tablespoon of granulated garlic. Now you could add salt in here if you wanted to. I don't.
So just garlic, not garlic salt.
Correct.
Don't you like salt in it?
Well, there's so many other things going in it that I can always add salt later. Okay, so that's well mixed. And I'm going to put my onions in here. This is two small onions. You can add more, is fine. We've got all our seasoning in there. And I don't know about you, but I never use, sometimes recipes call for tomato paste and I never use all of it. So I stick it in a Ziploc bag and I throw it in the freezer. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of divide it up like that, throw it in the freezer. And when I take it out, I can just break off. So that's like a tablespoon right there. So I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there.
Pretty cute.
And then I can get that mixed up good. Now my Italian sausage are in links and I've already pre-browned them. I put them out on the grill. You can do them in a saucepan if you want. You just want a little color on them.
They look good. Oh, they smell good.
Can you smell them already?
Well, when we
And they're cold.
Yes, and I want them to get some.
Okay, So the ones that have the toothpicks in are the hot, the spicy, and then the rest are the mild. So you can use sweet Italian sausage or mild.
How are we gonna know which ones are hot when you took all the
Because I'm going to put
toothpicks
new toothpicks in them. So because those were kind of burned up on the outside.
out? Ah,
And I'm just going to stick them in like that so it's easier to take them out
good idea.
later. So that, because I get it all over myself. Okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of this down in the bottom. This is a great crock pot. You can do it up. I'm going to put a little bit on there. Put my sausages in. You could also put this in a pan and put it in the oven on low and then cook it that way. So these are going to go in down in there, and then I'm going to put the rest of this on top. My hand's all slippery now because I have sauce all over my hands. So, now goes the peppers. These are just cut up green pepper and red pepper. Lay that up on the top. Put your lid on it, set it on about 6 hours on, you can do 8 hours, but it's on low. Might be a little bit too long, depending on your crock pot. Everybody's crock pots are different. So, we're gonna get that going. When I do the Italian sausage sandwiches and I put my peppers in there, I don't normally put the peppers in the spaghetti sauce. That's totally up to you. It does add a lot of different flavor to it. So think about that. You know, you can, you don't have to. Taste it as you're cooking it, and you can always add more seasoning to it if you think you need to bump it up another notch, okay? Now, I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't expand on my spaghetti sauce a little bit more. So, and I know y'all saw me put my bowl with the tomato sauce in the sink. Don't worry, I've run some water in there. I've cleaned it down because I wasn't going to get rid of that. My grandmother would be rolling over in her grave if she saw me wasting that. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a little bit. So my sauce is exactly the same as what I did for the Italian sausage sandwiches. In fact, this is what it is. It's all exactly the same. But now I'm going to add 3 pounds to that exact same recipe, 3 pounds of browned hamburger. And I have some already sauteed mushrooms. And we're going to get that stirred up. And this is going to cook. I like to cook it for a couple of hours. In fact, I like my spaghetti sauce really thick. I don't like it runny. So it is extremely thick. I'm going to add my tomato sauce that I cleaned out of the bowl. And that is going to go on the stove. So while that's cooking, get this on the stove. So while that's cooking, I'm going to do a little garlic bread to serve with it. Just take your regular French bread. Take you some melted butter or softened butter, doesn't matter, either way. And spread it out. I probably use a stick of butter for a whole length of garlic bread. So this is just regular garlic salt. Sprinkle it on there. If you like a little more garlic, you can go with it. I'm going to wrap it up in foil, and I'm going to throw it in the oven for about 10-15 minutes until it's nice and melted and all ready to go. So I had a little tomato sauce left that I cleaned out of the cans, the two little 1 pound 13-ounce cans, and I added a little water to it, and I got quite a bit of tomato flavor still out. Now I keep in my freezer a soup pot, a soup bag, so whenever we have vegetables or something that, you know, we don't just have a little bit left over, I don't like throwing it away, and I know it's probably not going to get eaten. So right now there's carrots in there, there's corn, there's some beef flavoring in there, and I'm going to toss the rest of this tomato sauce in there. And when this bag gets full, it's going to become vegetable soup. So this is just going to go right back in the freezer. So when I make my spaghetti sauce and I'm wanting to do the Italian sausage sandwiches and maybe a lasagna, there I'm going to get at least 3 meals. I'm going to start with a can like this instead of 2 cans like this. This is probably 3 cans. This is cheaper than buying 3 or 4 of these. So this is how I usually start out. And it's going to go in this pot, and then once I add my hamburger and my mushrooms and all my onions, it's going to come up to about here. So it's going to be pretty full. So once we have a dinner for 5 people, you know, it's going to go down. There's going to be some leftovers. I'll mix it up with the already cooked noodles, and I'll put that in the bag. Then I'll make some lasagna up, and then maybe I'll do the Italian sausage, and we're good to go for at least 3 meals. So let's get our pasta already cooked. Put my little sauce on there. I'm going to throw a little extra Parmesan on there, fresh Parmesan. There's a little bit of that chopped up fresh basil that we did. You could also throw a couple of little, if you want to be really fancy, for spaghetti. Anyway, let me get my garlic bread. Nice and warm. I can never make too much garlic bread in my house because it's going to be gone. Ooh, that's warm. Ow. Actually, it's hot. Nice. Put a couple of those on there. You are good to go. So when I have the leftover sauce, I'll put it, once it's cooled, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and it will last probably a good 2 months, maybe a little longer in there. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make my lasagna up. I'll take my cooked lasagna noodles and I layer it with meat sauce, then noodles. Then I use cottage cheese, not ricotta, because it's a little juicier, gives it a little more. Ricotta is very dry, and it's a lot more expensive. I use provolone cheese, Parmesan cheese, and sometimes Romano cheese, and I just layer that the next level, and then I do another meat. I always end up with meat sauce on the top, and then I will bake it from frozen. I'll bake it for about 1.5 hours covered. Take the cover off, and I'll add some more mozzarella cheese on top and let it bake another 15-20 minutes. If it's completely thawed out, you can probably do it in about 45 minutes, you know, depending on your oven, at about 350 degrees. And it makes a great dish if you need to take and pass, because it's going to make a good size pan. And once you take it out of the oven, let it sit for about 15 minutes so it can set up before you cut it. So, freezer, stove, oven, it all works great. We're going to get started on our next recipe, Caprese salad. I'm going to start out with some nice tomatoes. Oh, got to get my mozzarella out of the refrigerator. Okay, so Caprese salad is a salad that originated in Capri. It is fresh mozzarella. Have you ever had it?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. You could use this for an appetizer, you could use it for a salad, you could use it for a main dish. I was lucky enough, I bought it already sliced. That way it's nice and even, right?
I would have just faked the knife going through on each one of them.
Oh yeah, look how evenly I got those, right? I should have done that. So have y'all heard about the Italian chef who died?
No.
Yeah, he passed away.
That's so bad. Wow.
I know. I got more of them.
Here we go.
I got more of them. I know it. So we're just gonna slice up some tomatoes, take the ends off. Okay, so the water that I left, if you didn't catch that I left in the bowl, I'm not throwing that away. I'm going to put that in my soup pot. Whenever I have leftover vegetables from dinner or something and there's a little bit left and you don't want to throw it away, I put it in a Ziploc bag and then I just keep adding to it, and then when it's full, we make vegetable soup. So there's always a variety of something in there.
Those are nice fresh tomatoes.
These are really nice tomatoes. I like it when I go to the store and I can smell it. It smells like a tomato. I don't like, and you really want these room temperature because that's when your fullest flavor is.
They almost smell like sun.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You don't
use.
use the aroma tomatoes or whatever they
These are Campari tomatoes. They're really strong flavor. Oh, I love them.
Have you ever used a beefsteak tomato?
Um,
Are those too big?
They could be. I mean, you can certainly slice them, you know, and do them in half. Well, here's a little teeny tiny. We got that little piece of, that's not even worth, oh well, we'll do it anyway.
I just eat it if I was you.
Okay. So, this is going over here. Wipe this off. Do I wipe this stuff off as I'm going when I'm actually cooking and nobody's watching? Probably not. Probably not. Because I usually have a big, huge mess in my kitchen. I was always told that messy cooks are the best cooks, right?
Well, that means they're cooking, so yes.
That's right, they're cooking. So, the point of the show is to make sure people share their recipes, teach children to cook so that someday they can take care of themselves. Right, Asher? He's sitting over there hiding. This is fresh basil. I love to grow my own basil, but that time of year, they're not planted yet. So these have already been washed. And I'm just going to take, you could use a whole leaf if you wanted to. These are pretty big. So I'm just going to roll them up. Slice through them. And then you have, okay, so originally you're supposed to drizzle over some olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I've seen balsamic vinegar reductions with some honey in it. I'm all about simplicity. It's like almost like Christmas, right? And it's, oh my gosh, that smells so good. So this is what I like. I like house Italian dressing. Also have balsamic vinegar dressing. So we're going to do that. It's got all those spices and that in there. Okay. Oh, it smells so good. Why is it they don't put little holes in them? Okay, so let's just.
That way you use more.
That way you use more. You don't need a whole bunch. I'm gonna shake this up some more. Get all those herbs and spices mixed up. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do half and half here. Let's shake this one up again. You know, there's all sorts of different balsamic vinegars you could use. There's all different flavors. You know, like I have some garlic infused.
Oh, there's that new,
The new olive, the Bodacious olive downtown.
downtown.
That's where I got them.
Did you get stuff down there? Yeah.
Oh, it's very good. And you can go in there and try it if you like. You know, they let you try them. Uh-huh. Yes, it's very good. All the different olive oils, yummy. Okay. You can stop here. You can add some pepper rings if you want. You could slice up some black olives and throw on there. You can cut this up into small, where you can just use like a fork instead of, you know, having to cut it later on. So that is an easy caprese. I made it easy caprese. I love it. Easy caprese salad. That's what I'm calling it now. Easy caprese.
Pants on squeezy.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So my sandwiches, I already did some up. Going to get them out of the oven. While I'm doing this, I want to take the opportunity to thank my sponsor, Irene from Irene's Place. She does my hair. Yeah, she's the one who made it purple. She's the one who made it purple.
Oh, it is purple.
It is. I love it. These are bratwurst buns. Hey, no telling secrets over there. These are brat buns. You can use French bread if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to take a spoon because I'm going to put a little of the sauce down. These sandwiches are not for the faint of heart because they will be messy. Easy caprese. I love it. I'm going to throw some peppers on there. I know I've said in the past that I'm not big on cooked peppers. This is one of those exceptions that I will eat cooked pepper. You can put more on if you want. See how that fell apart? This is what you want to look for when they're done. You just want them to, let's see if I can do this. Yep, that's pretty hot. It's just going to break. That's what you want. You want it so tender. And then if you want, you can throw on a little fresh Parmesan. Was there a collective gasp over there? Oh. Cheese in Wisconsin. That's right. I used to go to a restaurant years ago. It was called Jimmy's Grotto. It's still called Jimmy's Grotto. It's in Waukesha. We used to go there, you know, after we got done working, and it was a little hole in the wall. Seriously, it was a house that was right on the sidewalk, downtown Waukesha, and they made the best Italian sausage sandwiches. They would open their window, and that's where you bought them from. They have an actual restaurant now. So good. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So, serve these up. That is a meal any Italian would like. Easy caprese, right? Oh my goodness. So, who's ready for a sandwich?
I am.
All right, spicy or not?
You decide.
No, you decide.
Okay, not spicy.
Not spicy.
Since you grabbed it right there, that's why.
Okay, I'm going to pass this over. Would you take this over? And you can pick out which one you want. This side is the Italian. The darker side is the balsamic. So you can pick which one you want, okay? So here, Jamie, would you pass this? If I didn't say before, I had my popcorn already on the table for my guests to go ahead and snack on something. I want to thank everybody for joining me today for a fast Italian sausage sandwich. Stick it in your crock pot, turn it on before you go to work, and it's done when you get home. It's fabulous. Plan your stuff ahead. You know, make your spaghetti sauce extra. And yes, you can use a jar sauce if you want to. You know, if you're in a hurry and you don't have time, I'm not going to judge. I've done it. So, thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Make sure you teach somebody how to cook something, share your recipes, and thanks for coming to my kitchen. Easy caprese.